A scathing new report released today has found the Metropolitan Police is not doing enough to protect vulnerable children who are suffering or at risk of sexual exploitation.
Joining us now is former Met Police Detective Inspector Hamish Brown. Morning to you, Hamish. What do you make of this report? It makes for pretty depressing reading, doesn't it?
Yes, good morning to you, Sarah and David. Yes, it certainly does. And I think there's a two-pronged attack, really, I think the police might want to consider. Firstly, is the initial action at the time of reporting. And that will have to be at a police station because inevitably it might be 2 in the morning or something like that. They're 24/7. That's where it's going to be initially reported. And they can take that on and action it as they see fit. Sometimes they don't do anything, just wait till, say, a child comes home. Well, the damage might be done by then, but it's a difficult call, particularly if the child always goes missing and always comes back. There are a lot of families like that. The second wave, if I can put it that way, is the actual investigation itself. Excuse me, and this must be undertaken by specialist officers, those who have the awareness of the crime. They are good at it, they understand just what's going on, and it may be part of an offshoot of the current child protection teams, or indeed it might be a specialist unit. I can see that as the only way forward.
The Inspectorate actually really showed systemic failures. When you read this report, it says there was a lack of understanding of the nature and the scale of child exploitation. They failed to identify it. They didn't think about it. They didn't have the skills. They didn't have the knowledge to deal with it. It's a really poor response. And at the end of the day, these children are suffering.
Yes, well, I've already sort of covered that by initial response. The specialist officers who will understand it, who will have the awareness, who will have the knowledge of the crime, the legislation and the way forward. That is absolutely crucial. But the report goes further and it talks about victim blaming, and that really worries me because that brings back echoes of the old days. Bear in mind, I joined in the early 70s, in the early days of dealing with rape, when rape victims over a station counter, as if they were reporting something lost in the street, they were talked out of the allegation. Well, although some people might say rape allegations aren't perfect at the moment, it's come along a long way. And the police have pulled their socks up on that and done a good job in many ways. Low conviction rate, but that's due to other factors, perhaps away from the police service.
Yes, some of the examples of the victim-blaming language that were recorded in this report. A 14-year-old girl described as seeking out sex with older men. A 12-year-old girl who'd been raped is branded as sexually active with older men. No supervisors or managers challenged the kind of language. In fact, a detective inspector spoke in an interview of children being promiscuous. I mean, that's really shocking, isn't it, if it's coming from the top?
Yeah, it is quite wrong. And as I said with the rape, hopefully the police have moved on from that. And if instances happen when they get it wrong, they will be sacked. And the same with domestic violence, when it was seen as a private matter behind closed doors. Well, that's utter rubbish. As you might be aware, I'm an authority on the crime of stalking, and I speak to victims these days. And one victim told me the police officer told her to come back when she had bruises. Well, that is quite wrong. The domestic violence has improved, the rape has improved, and the stalking is getting better. And now we have child exploitation, or we're considering child exploitation now, and that's got to improve. And it's the two ways. Firstly, the initial reporting at the police station, and secondly, the investigation, which must be carried out by officers who have the awareness and the skill to do that job.
And this is just talking about the Met, and of course we've had Rotherham, we've had Rochdale. It is a widespread issue, isn't it? Thank you very much.